Hello, everybody. This is Dee from Dee's Cute and Crafty, and I am back with part 2 of my Hocus Pocus series. And this is the last video for Hocus Pocus. I'm a little under the weather, so please excuse my voice, but I feel okay. So we're going to be making a book stack, and these are the things we're going to use. We have a book stack from the Dollar Tree, my homemade black chalk paint. We have some greenery. Oh, we don't have greenery yet. We've got twine from Dollar Tree. Now we have greenery from Hobby Lobby. I've got my white paint marker and a furniture marker. I've got some rub-on transfers, and I'm using one of the handles from one of the sponge paint brushes. We're going to make a broom. So I'm just taking my furniture marker and just coloring in that piece of raw wood to this nice brown color. I'm taking that greenery, and I just thought it would be so perfect as a broom because I love the fall colors, and it just looked like it was like fiery, like Winifred's hair. So I thought it would be cute to use it and make it fun and whimsical. So I'm cutting that down to the length that I want, and I'm getting it hot glued to that wood stick or wood handle, just wrapping some twine around it to give it a little bit more dimension and texture, and also to help hold the greenery in place. And that was quick and simple for that part of the DIY. Now I'm going to take my book stack and paint it all black. I'm painting all sides, front, back, top, bottom. When you see it in the video, the back is not painted, but it will be painted before it goes on my tiered tray. After I get it all painted, I wrote in my own handwriting, "Come sisters, we fly." And I did that in pencil. And I went back in and went over it in the white Dollar Tree marker. And I'm just cleaning it up with the black Sharpie. Any areas that had paint that I didn't want or white marker that I didn't want, I cleaned it up with the black Sharpie. Have no idea why I took that Mod Podge out. Not using that for anything. So I'm taking my hot glue and I'm going to glue the broom down to the top of the book stack. And I'm going in with some of my rub-on transfers. I'm going to use the little ghost, and I'm going to use the crescent moon. And I'm just going to rub those on. And anywhere that I have any marks, like I'm taking this little tool, like a picker, to pick up that transfer vellum. And so there's a little white spot where some of the black paint peeled off. So I just went in with the Sharpie and covered it right back up. So you guys, this is it for DIY number 1. It is adorable. I just ended up putting a little bow on from Dollar Tree, that spider web ribbon and some jute. But I love this one, but it is not my favorite of the 3 that I'm showing today. If you want to know which one my favorite is, you're going to have to keep watching. You guys, as always, comment down below. Let me know which one is your favorite of the 3 that I will bring you today. Moving on to DIY number 2, I'm going to be using this chevron ribbon from Walmart and my orange Dollar Tree ribbon. I'm going to be using some pumpkins from Dollar Tree, those little pumpkin picks, and the other pick was from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to be using the Dollar Tree wreath form, some bats, some of the little cupcake toothpick bats, and some of the ghosts, all from Dollar Tree. I'll be using my Hello Hobby white chalk paint and my Waverly elephant chalk paint. I also have a sign that I already made, and I didn't show you how I made this sign in this video because it's very much the same sign that I made in my first Hocus Pocus DIY series of the Sanderson sisters. It's just a little smaller, and so I didn't feel the need to show it to you again. I'll also be using 6 pair of black tube socks from the Dollar Tree, or 12 individual socks, if you look at it that way. 6 pair or 12 single socks. So I cut my wreath form so that I could then get the socks onto the wreath form. So I'm taking the socks and just sliding them onto the wreath form, and then I'm taking the end and I'm tucking it into the sock before it. So you put it on, scrunch it up, and then just pull the other sock over the end of the sock you just put down. Now I'm going to take my hot glue, and everywhere that the two socks join together or everywhere that I tuck them, I'm going to add a little bit of glue to make sure that they stay in place. Here you see I've taken my ghosts from the Dollar Tree and I'm just painting them white. I will also take the bats from the Dollar Tree and I will paint them gray. I loved using the socks for the wreath because it gave me that solid dark black look that I was going for, and it also gave me texture, which I absolutely love. So I like using this better than just trying to use black ribbon or felt. So here you see I'm taking my sign. I poked holes in all of the corners and I'm going in with some black paddle wire, and I just cut a slit in the sock so that I could thread my wire down inside the sock and around the wreath form to make sure everything stays in place. And now that that's done, I'm going to start placing my pumpkins and my orange, like fluffy floral picks and my bats and my ghost. And I like to just put everything down first to get a feel of where I want to glue it before I glue it. So I'm just putting everything down, and I'm going to cut a hole in the sock and tuck the pumpkins down in the hole, fill the hole with some hot glue, and then go ahead and close that up just to make sure everything stays in place. You guys, thank you so much for joining me for this video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm so blessed and happy to have you here. If you like this content, please consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell as well, so you never miss out on another cute and crafty DIY with D. And if you've been riding with me, rocking with me, enjoying my videos for a minute, thank you so much for coming back. You guys know I love you so much, and I enjoy having you here and talking to you in the comments. So now I'm getting everything placed down, glued down, tucked down into the socks, all of the things. And I'm going to take my ghost and make use of the hole in the top of the ghost. And I'm going to take some paddle wire and thread through that hole down into the sock around the wreath form and wire these ghosts as well as hot glue them to this wreath, just making sure everything stays put. I even glued the bats to the actual sign as well as to the wreath. Now I'm going to take this black and white chevron ribbon that I picked up from Walmart. I do love this ribbon. I do not like that it is not wired, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to make a bow, and I'm going to take my chevron ribbon in the orange and burlap from Dollar Tree, which is wired, and I'm going to make some loops with that, putting both stacks of loops together. Then I'm going to take each ribbon and make some dovetails. I'm going to pinch everything together and tie it off with some jute cord. And because my black and white chevron is not wired, when I fan out my loops, I'm going to just go ahead and glue them in place so that they stay fanned out the way that I want them. Again, you guys, please excuse my voice. I promise you, I feel better than I sound. I was just wanting to get this content out for you guys. So this is what I sound like while I'm recording. Hopefully, It will be better soon. Before my next video, I hope to be back at my regular speaking voice. I know a lot of you say my voice is nice and calming, and I'm sure today it is not. So just give me some grace on that one. So this is the finished product of DIY number 2 and my absolute favorite of the 3 that I brought you today. I love this one so much, but of course it's hanging on my daughter's door. And initially my daughter did do my voiceover for me, but that footage got all messed up and lost. So I had to redo it myself. So we tried, you guys, to have a clear voice that you could hear, but it just wasn't in the cards. Moving on to DIY number 3, and this is my daughter's favorite, and I did make this and I gave it to her. This is Book from Hocus Pocus. This is the one that everybody loves. I find it to be quite spooky looking, so yeah, it's creepy. So I have a book from Dollar Tree. I bought from Dollar Tree my Waverly, Hello Hobby chalk paint and white and sage. I've got these little decorative thumbtacks, some cardboard, some silver folk art glass paint actually, but I'm going to use it. And then I have apple barrel in melted chocolate, khaki, and I can't remember what color the brown is. I've got some tissue paper. The lighter brown is chestnut. So I've got some tissue paper, 1 ply, and I think that's it. I told you about my cardboard. So here I'm just marking out and writing on the book everywhere. I'm mapping it out pretty much. I'm writing where I want things to be, where the eyeball will sit, where the snakes will sit, and things like that, where the stitches are going to go, because it's going to make it easier for me in the long run. So I'm just mapping it out ahead of time. So now that that's done, I'm going to take my jute twine and I'm going to just lay down some glue, hot glue, on the drawing that I've done and get my stitches on here. I'm going to lay down the long pieces first, and then I'll go back in and make the little short cross stitch pieces of a scar, like a stitched scar. I lay them down in the hot glue, and then I pinch them together to give them that raised, bumpy look that a scar would have. And you guys, you could totally do this by just using hot glue without putting the jute twine on it. But I really wanted more dimension and texture, so that's why I use the twine and not just use the hot glue. So now I'm taking my Mod Podge and I'm using my sponge brush and I'm getting down into all the nooks and crannies of that twine so that when I put my tissue paper on, it gives it shape and it gives it dimension and it looks like a scar. It looks like, something has been sewn together. So I'm just pushing down with the brush and with my fingers into all the crevices of that twine, just bringing it to life, so to speak. But book is like a popular thing in Hocus Pocus. I told you guys I don't really care for spooky Halloween. So this is as spooky as I would ever get, I'm guessing. But my daughter absolutely loves it. I also made one for one of my friends at work, and she absolutely loves it. So it was worth it. So now that I have my 4 layers of Mod Podge, I did 4 layers of Mod Podge and tissue, and I just heat set it in between. So now I'm going to let this last layer sit, just put it over to the side and work on getting the snake done. So I have this piece of cardboard that I measured the length of the book, and I have some nautical cord, and I'm just zigzagging with hot glue and following it with the nautical cord to make the snake. Now I'm going to take my other piece of cardboard and I'm going to cut out these little teardrop pieces for the snake's head. Just getting that glued down. And then I'm going to take some of the jute twine and I'm going to build that up. I'm going to put 2 layers of twine on top of that snake's head. And then I'm going to take the other piece of cardboard that looks like a teardrop and place that on top. And that makes it sit out from the cardboard. It gives it a 3D effect. It didn't make sense for the snake's head to be flat when the snake's body is made with the rope and it looks three-dimensional, so, or 2-dimensional, whichever. So I had to build the head up to make it match the body of the snake. Going in with my elephant chalk paint in gray and just getting that all painted. Now I'm going to take the melted chocolate, the chestnut, and the khaki all by Apple Barrel, and I'm going to mix those together to get the color of skin that I want to paint the entire book. I'm doing a combination of brushing and dabbing to get that paint on there the way that I want it. And now I'm just taking my X-Acto knife and making a slit in the eyeball so that I can stick my scissors in there and get it cut in half. Save the other half of the eyeball because we're going to use it for the top and bottom lid. Just trimming it up a little bit so that it sits nice and flush. And I'm going to go in with my Hello Hobby in White Swan, or either just white. And I'm going to paint the red bloodshot part of the eyeball white because book does not have bloodshot eyes. It will add to the creepiness of it, but I'm trying to be as authentic as I can to the movie. I also painted the eye green because in the movie the eye was not yellow, it was green. So we're going to add the eyelids on, just trimming them down until I get them to how I like them. And then we're just going to hot glue those on. And now that I have the eyelids glued on, I'm just going to hot glue the entire eyeball to the book. And then I'm going to go back in with some tissue paper and some Mod Podge. And I'm going to put that on the top and bottom lid so that it matches the skin texture of the book. You guys, this was a lot of fun to do. It was a lot of detail work, and I love detail work, so this was right up my alley, even though it's nothing that I want to keep in my Halloween decor, but I thought it was really interesting to do, and I did enjoy it, and I loved seeing the look on both my daughter and my friend at work, looking at their faces when they received their book. They were so happy, so it made it worth it, like I said. So I just did a jute twine circle around the eye and painted that silver because it's supposed to look like a ring around the eye. And then I'm going in with that khaki color and Apple Barrel to highlight those stitches. Now I'm taking after I get done making a mess with the glue, I'm taking the snake and I'm gluing it down. And I took some twine and I just coiled it up and made 2 more snakes, one for each corner of the book. I painted them gray in the elephant chalk paint by Waverly, and I'm just going to get them glued down. I also made 2 more of those little teardrop cardboard pieces for the heads, and I'm gluing those down and painting them with the elephant. No, I'm painting it with the actual glass or enamel paint by Folk Art, the silver paint. Now I'm taking my decorative thumbtacks and I'm putting 2 at the bottom of the snake and 2 at the top. And I'll go back in with that folk art enamel glass paint and paint those silver. I'm taking this faux leather that I got from Hobby Lobby last year, and I'm just going to make a little closure for the book. I think it just adds definition and character and texture and all of the things to this project. So here you see me going in with some Mod Podge and some tissue paper on the binder of the book to make some fingers. I'm just rolling that tissue paper up to give it the feel of fingers. I don't know if it looks really like fingers or if it just looks like worms. I don't know, but it's supposed to be fingers. So I'm just going in with that Mod Podge, and they're not supposed to be fingers from one hand. So they're not close together like a hand would be if it was gripping the book. They're fingers from several different hands. So that's why they're spaced out. That's how I felt about it. So that's what I did. So now I'm going in with my khaki paint from Apple Barrel and painting the fingers. And I gave them definition with that chestnut as well. And here is the final reveal of Hocus Pocus book. If you guys are Hocus Pocus fans, I hope I did you proud. So you guys, here is the final reveal of everything that I've made for you today. Don't forget to comment down below. Let me know what you think. I truly enjoyed preparing these 2 Hocus Pocus videos for you guys. I hope you liked them as well. Thank you for being here with me today and for putting up with my hoarse voice. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel to grow. And I appreciate you guys so much. None of this is possible without you. If you're not here to watch it, it doesn't work. Nothing works unless you're here. So thank you. Thank you so much. You guys, as always, be blessed. Stay safe. And craft something beautiful today, you guys. I will see you in my next one. Bye.